Okay, so this is an extreme example of using the solver to perform a calculation. In this situation, we have a beer brewery here, and at the top we have the cost of shipping or delivering, I guess it'd be called shipping, I guess, but the true cost of a delivered price of shipping from whatever warehouse to whatever plant. Okay, and what we want to do here, how many cases we need to order from all these different warehouses, right, to get delivered to these particular plants. And given the fact that the brewery at plant A, B, and C have a certain capacity that they can produce, what we need to do is figure out how many we should grab from, or order, I guess, from each of these brewery warehouses here, getting these quantities from each of them. All right, so what do we have to do? Well, we have to make sure that the cost is kept at a minimum. Okay, so the cost has to be at a minimum. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the objective to be that this has to be as small as possible. All right, but we definitely need to order these quantity of cases from these warehouses while taking consideration the shipping cost. So it's crazy. I mean, this is something that I would imagine a team of people would have to get on to try to figure out what would be the best thing to keep that cost down while still making the delivered amounts that they want. Okay, so let's try this. So we're going to go over to the data tab here. We're going to go over to the solver. So our objective is going to be that we want to take B17, this cell right here, which is the total cost. All right, we want to keep that at a minimum. All right, so we're going to tell it we want that a minimum. And where we want the program to fill in are going to be the numbers. In other words, how many should we be getting from each of these warehouses, from each of the bottling plants? I mean, it's crazy stuff here, you know, based on the fact of how much it costs to deliver those cases to the warehouse, right? So pretty wild stuff here. So anyway, this range right here of what it's going to be changing is going to be all of these cells here, every one of them. All right, so that's that part there. Now, when it plugs in all those numbers, we want to make sure that the numbers that we end up totaling here. So this total here would be for these three here, this total for these three here. We want to make sure that those numbers are equal to what we had ordered, all right? So our first constraint then, we'll hit add here. Our first constraint is going to be that this range, all right, equals this range. All right, so row 13 equals row 15, basically, right? We hit OK. And then our next constraint is going to be over on this other side here, where what we're receiving from each of those plants, all right, is equal to, or is less than or equal to the capacity here, right? So our next constraint is going to be that these numbers here, right, or better yet, let me get rid of that, better yet, that these numbers here, okay, are greater than, yeah, so it would be greater than or equal to the capacity, right? Oh, I'm sorry, what we're going to receive here, all right? So in essence, we can't get more than what the brewery can give us. So this number has to be less than or equal to this, right? In essence. or the way we got it here, H has to be less than or equal to G, right? Or greater than or equal to G, right? Okay. Man. All right, so we'll hit OK on that one. There we go. All right. That looks good. All right, so now we're ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and hit solve. And there we go. Hit OK here. And what do we have? Well, it looks like we're going to be getting 117 cases delivered from this bottling plant to the warehouse, in Tampa, 117 in there. And then it looks like for our warehouse in Chicago, we're going to get 73,000 cases from plant A and 140 cases from plant B, right? And then the same thing goes for the rest of them. So it looks like for LA, we have 90 from A and 10 from C. And then for Maui, we've got just 145 coming from plant C. So that is very, very wild. Keep in mind that what we're doing here as well is that we kept our cost to a minimum. In other words, we made sure we pulled from the right warehouses based on the pricing we see up there. And that's it. So that would be it. So that would be something, like I said, would take days, if not, I don't know, many days to figure out. And here we do it in just a matter of minutes. I mean, setting up the worksheet would be kind of a chore. But keep in mind, this file that I'm working on right now is available to you off of the tab off to the right. So just click on the tab and you'll see the file, and you can download this, and you can actually use this and model it and modify it to fit your particular business. But what a great little tool there. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. I hope you can use this. Take care. I'm sorry, if you're still there, hang in there. Don't go away. I had a couple other things I wanted to show you here. A lot of what happened here was figured on by looking at the different costs coming from those different plants and going into the warehouse, or going into the warehouse. So a lot of different thing there. But what I did, I had another one here set up where if the pricing was the same, regardless of where it came from, so whether it came from plant A, B, or C, doesn't matter where it's getting delivered to, it's always going to be the same cost, okay? That's pretty unreasonable, but let's just pretend like that is the case, right? So if we went back in there and we had, the same, now this has already been figured out, with it. So if you look at what we had there versus what we have there, all right, big difference, all right? But we still have the same quantities that are being produced there, see, in each of the areas there. And then I had something else where I did, some other numbers, and I just kind of changed things around. But regardless of what I did here, when I reran the solver, I came up with, drastically different numbers, right? But still, you kind of wonder yourself, why the heck did it not do anything from LA? Well, the reason for it was that it already hit the capacity when it was pulling from, or when it was shipping to these other 3 warehouses. It couldn't do anything from that one. So that's why. But unbelievable, pretty wild stuff here. So again, sorry about that, but I needed to show you that part too as well. So I appreciate you watching. Finally, see you later.